I'm going to explain the PDT rule and how it's going to change in the near future. And at last, we are going to dive into how you don't have to worry about the PDT rule at all and how you can just avoid it altogether. First of all, PDT stands for pattern day trader. It is important to understand the PDT rule applies specifically to the US equities market. So if you're trading stocks, ETFs, or options on a US broker, this applies to you. What these brokers do is they monitor your account if you are trading the US equities market, and they will check if you classify as a PDT as a pattern day trader. So when do you actually classify as a pattern day trader? That will happen under these conditions right here. If you execute 4 or more day trades within any 5 consecutive business days. I'm going to give you an example of what that looks like later on as well, so how you can avoid it potentially. First, let's actually move on. Now, it's also important that the day trades represent more than 6% of your total trading activity in that period. This rule that 6% is something you don't really have to worry about because that will likely always be the case. Because if that's not the case, then that means you roughly, within those 5 consecutive business days, you have to take 66 different trades that are not day trades, which again is not going to be the case. Now, it's important to understand right here that a day trade is defined by opening and closing a position on the same instrument on the same day. Let's say I want to trade the S&P 500. I open one position today on the S&P 500. Later today, I close that exact same position. And that means that counts as one day trade. Now, if instead I open 2 separate positions, I only close on the same day, I only close one of those positions. And that means that's only one day trade. If I open multiple positions on the S&P 500 today and I close none of them today, I close all of them, for example, tomorrow, that doesn't count as a day trade because again, it's not within the same day. Like I mentioned, I'm going to give you an example of what that exactly looks like, how you can avoid that as well. Now, what exactly are the consequences? If you are classified as a pattern day trader, or PDT, then you need at least 25K US dollar in your account at all times. This basically means that you do need a bigger buffer on your account overall. Now, you do actually get enhanced buying power. So you get leveraged positions for day trades. This is typically 4x. So it basically means that you can take on bigger positions without needing more money, if that makes sense. So that's 4 times. Now, if your balance drops below 25K, it's important to understand that that you will get a margin call and you have 5 business days to deposit money to get back above that 25K. Whilst this is happening, so while the call is outstanding, your leverage, your buying power is cut to ×2. So instead of ×4, you have a 2x. Now, if you don't meet the call in time, so within those 5 business days, you will be locked into cash only trading for 90 days. So you lose, again, that advantage of trading with leverage. So these are the consequences if you are classified as a pattern day trader. Now, how to get around that? Again, we're going to dive into that in just a second. Now, if you're not classified as a PDT, then you can still day trade, but you are limited to 3 day trades per 5 business days in a margin account. This right here is not a hard limit. So it's not like you physically can't take more than 3 day trades per 5 consecutive business days. No, but if you go over that, then you are just classified again as a pattern day trader. So you are limited to those 3 day trades. If you do stick to that, again, you won't have that 25,000 US dollar requirement. It is important to understand, again, you can of course still be flagged as a PDT in the future. So let's go over an example of how that works with those day trades within those 5 consecutive business days. Right here, we have an example. Monday, you decide I take 1 day trade right there. Okay, Tuesday, you take no trade at all. Wednesday, you also take 1 day trade. Thursday, no day trade. Friday, 1 day trade. So we see that we have a typical week. In this typical week, we of course have 5 consecutive business days from Monday throughout Friday. Within these 5 consecutive business days, you have now taken 3 day trades. So you're at your limit if you don't want to be classified as a PDT. If you now, for example, would have also taken 1 day trade on Tuesday or Thursday, or you would have taken an extra day trade on Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, then you would have been classified as a pattern day trader. But let's say you don't want to go over that limit right there. Okay, and the weekend is here. Now the weekend, of course, there's no business day in the weekend. So we move on to Monday right there. Now let's say on Monday, you take 1 day trade. Are you now a pattern day trader or not? No, why not? Because now you're outside of that window. It's a rolling window. So now the last 5 consecutive business days have been Monday, the new Monday, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, and Tuesday. So that last week's Monday is not a part of that window of 5 consecutive business days anymore. So you're still within your limits. Now, on Tuesday right here, if you don't want to hit a limit, you can't trade. Because again, you're still at this moment in time, within 5 consecutive business days, you've hit the limit of 3 day trades within that. So you need to wait for Wednesday, because Wednesday right there, the previous Wednesday now gets removed right here. Now you can take another day trade again. Now this, of course, is, well, arguably quite a pain and is arguably also quite outdated, not that relevant anymore nowadays. So we might be seeing some changes. Now, what might be changing? In September 2025, quite some time ago, FINRA, essentially the creator of the rule, of the PDT rule, approved a new rule that would replace the PDT rule. The PDT rule would then be replaced with an intraday margin rule. That would be the new rule. Essentially, the way that works is that a balance of at least 25% of the total value of your outstanding positions is needed. In more simple terms, your required balance would scale with the size and risk of your actual trades. So making it more dynamic, making it a little bit more friendly overall. That also means that you don't need the $25,000 minimum. But also important, brokers will still likely set their own requirements. So they still might say, for example, well, you still need $20,000 as a minimum. The reason why we are not seeing the change just yet is because the SEC still needs to approve this. After that happens, after they approve it, a date will be announced. Now, you could argue the PDT rule is quite a pain. I would agree. And you could, on top of that, make the same argument about the new rule, which is not necessarily that super clear or anything like that. It's arguably still a pain. So how can we avoid the PDT rule altogether? Again, the PDT rule applies specifically to the US equities market. So that means stocks, that means ETFs, that means options. So if you're trading the futures market right here, then this doesn't apply to you. That's why a lot of the more advanced traders, for example, they move over to the futures market, which is essentially the exact same, because you're still trading the S&P 500, but you're just trading the futures version of the S&P 500. So if you don't like this rule, then, well, you might be open to migrate to futures. That's why we focus on futures on this channel as well. You get more freedom with it. Now, of course, if you deposit money into a broker and you're trying to trade futures, oftentimes there will still be a requirement, a minimum amount that you need to deposit in order to start trading futures. So it's not like if you're trading with a broker and you're trading futures, you can just do whatever you want, if that makes sense. Now, this is where we have this new thing in the trading industry, because that's where evaluation prop firms come into play. Because with prop firms, you don't need a 20K minimum deposit or a 25K minimum deposit. So that's the new age of retail trading, essentially, where you can buy an evaluation through an evaluation prop firm. And if you pass, they will give you a certain amount of capital that you can actually trade and make money from. Now, that sounds super vague, I know. So an explanation to how that exactly works, an explanation to prop firms for beginners is down below as well. If the PDT rule does eventually change, I will also keep you updated.